Have questions about your pets? Looking for your next forever friend? We've got you covered. This is Pet Connection with Energy 95.3. Now, here's Erik Fox.
A beautiful Wednesday if you're inside air conditioning right now. What's up? It's Erik Fox from Energy 95.3, joined on the other side of the screen here by Nick and Marissa from Kern County Animal Services. How are you guys doing this morning?
We're doing okay. I'm going to do most of the talking. Marissa's a little under the weather. So.
Oh, well, Nick, let's go and have you talk about our friend here that's below us, and that is Ellie. What can you tell us about Ellie?
Ellie is one of those dogs that we just can't understand why she's still here. Ellie's been with us in some shape or form since April. She came to us in late April. She was pregnant. She had puppies. And she entered our foster program in May, and she had her puppies, and the puppies moved along, and she was brought back to us in June, and she's been with us ever since, and we're trying to find her a home. She's a super sweet, very loving girl, and she needs a home. She's going to do well in just about any household.
And reading kind of the notes, also dog friendly. So if you have other dogs in the home, she'll work well with them, right?
Yeah, she's displayed no tendencies to not get along with other dogs. She's been perfectly fine. And like we said, she's just got such a docile demeanor and just a well-adjusted behavior. She's gonna really do well in just about any household. She's not an older girl, she's still adolescent. She's about 3 years old. So she's got a whole life to live, a lot of energy, gonna be with some family for a very long time, we hope.
And a lot of love to give there. I mean, yeah, she's chilled there, but as soon as she finds that forever home, you're going to see that little light up we've talked about before. Like sometimes it's hard when we do the pet connections because they tend to be in a weird environment with the shelter, but once you get them home, you're going to find their true personality, right?
Yeah, that's all true. Once they leave the shelter, it's a stressful environment, like we always say. It's a stressful environment for dogs, so they always and a cat, so they always need some time to adjust before you start realizing what their true personality is and is going to be. But we always tell folks to give it some time. It could take several weeks for an animal to adjust to a new home. We always say you don't want to make any decisions on an animal's behavior in the first 3 weeks of it being in your home. It's they're gonna display some stress-related activities. My wife and my kids and I, we fostered a dog in March of 2020 when during the early stages of the pandemic. We fostered a dog, and for the first 2 months, she was digging holes in our backyard like she was trying to get to the other side of the planet, and it was stress related. We gave her some time, we kept her engaged. And within about 6 weeks or 2 months, she just stopped that behavior and she started to adjust. And then we started to see her true behavior come out. And that's really no different for most of the shelter animals. Just give them time, give them love and compassion and all the resources they need. And sooner or later, their true behavior will come out, and you'll be able to see the animal that you've truly got in your family.
I think that's an analogy that even as humans we understand. Like if you move to a new city, a new house, and there's an adaptation phase where, yeah, you know what, it's different, it's weird, but you finally find your flow with everything, right?
Yeah. Especially when she's been with us, like I said, she's been with us since April, and she's had puppies. She's birthed puppies, and she's had a rough couple of months, to come into an animal shelter pregnant, to have puppies, and to be brought back into the shelter, and all of that entails for a dog. It's a testament to Ellie's behavior that she's still here and she's still well adjusted, and still trusts humans too.
Let me plop that information on the screen because Ellie needs that forever home. I wanted to take it down because she's beautiful down there on the floor. Ellie is a 3-year-old Labrador mix, A1161408. And, yes, she she's a little docile, but you know what? She's going to give it a lot of love, and you know what? Your energy and her energy will flow together. I definitely know that's the case. So once again, Ellie is A116-1408. And I did want to talk about this because we do have Clear the Shelter still continuing, right?
Yes, we partnered with NBC Universal and a couple other agencies, including Hills Hills Pet Nutrition, for the Clear the Shelters adoption event. And it's a month-long effort that they make to encourage folks to adopt shelter pets and donate to shelter organizations. So we're participating in it this year, and our participation has us waiving all cat and dog adoption fees for the entire month of August. I think we're about halfway through August or so. I think we've placed almost 500 dogs and cats through adoption in the first couple of weeks. So we're hoping for a strong finish. So it's a good time to come out and adopt, not because the fees are waived, but because there's so many animals in need of a home.
I do want to pop this on the screen. Tabitha, thank you for your comment. Beautiful girl. Ellie is definitely a beautiful girl, and definitely a beautiful girl that needs to be out of the shelter. So, Tabitha, thank you so much for your comment there. And once again, as humans here, we're also dealing with some heat issues right now, but it definitely affects animals quite a bit. Can we hit on that a little bit, because it is a redonkulous heat here in the valley today?
Yeah, I mean, it's we try to distill it down to as easy an approach as we can with heat and as it applies to our pets. And the easiest way is that it's no different than the precautions you would take with your kids or your maybe elderly parents, grandparents, or family members. You want to take precautions when the temperature is relatively high or relatively low, especially take into consideration the type of dog you have, the age of your dog, maybe the ailments or illnesses that it may be dealing with, and the breed of dog you may have. Dogs with a longer snout, a longer muzzle, they're going to have an easier time with high temperatures than a dog with a shorter muzzle, because the shorter muzzles have difficulty or not as efficient, at just expelling heat from their body. So you always want to keep all those things in mind, and then once you understand the type of animal you have and the sensitivity they can have to the heat, you want to take those precautions. So keep them indoors if you possibly can. If you kind of like what we do at the shelter. We have a vaccine clinic that we try to put on every other Tuesday. We check the temperature in advance, and if it's forecasted to be over a certain temperature, we cancel the clinic because it's just too hot for the pets to be out. Same thing with your pet. Be aware of what the temperature is supposed to be, especially if you're the type of pet parent that maybe keeps your pet outdoors while you're at work. If it's going to be high temps like that, take precautions. Put your pet indoors if you can. Find a space indoors where you can put him in case of an emergency like that. Keep fresh water available if at all possible. Keep him indoors. If you can't, gotta keep outdoors. Make sure there's a shady area, a dog house, and fresh water around at all times. The ability to get out of the elements. You got to take these precautions because they can have disastrous effects on our pets.
With how we feel outside, they feel it even more. So definitely great some tips there. We do have Ellie joining us here on Pet Connection today. Her number is A116-1408. 3-year-old Labrador mix, and just a lot of love to give. And with Clear the Shelters and everything going on that you guys are doing this month, we need to get Ellie out of there. So anyone watching right now that either would love to join Ellie and her family, or someone who needs Ellie in their life, definitely contact. We got the information scrolling at the bottom. 868-7120, Kern County Animal Services.org. And let's get Ellie out of the shelter, right?
Yeah, she needs out. She's very itchy right now, as you can see.
She's itching to get out of there.
Very interested in her leg. But she's
Nick
a sweet.
Nick and Marissa and the sweet girl Ellie there on the floor. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. We really appreciate everything you guys do for our community.
As always, we appreciate you and Energy 95.
Awesome. I appreciate that. We'll catch you guys next time right here with Kern County Animal Services and Energy 95.3 for another edition of Pet Connection. We'll see you then.